Hello and welcome to the class. We are continuing the extreme beginners guitar lesson journey, and after learning a very vital scale, that is major diatonic scale, in this video we are going to discuss about another very vital scale, that is minor scale. So we have to first understand what minor scale is, and if we know major diatonic scales, how can we extract minor scales from the major scales? It is not very tough to convert major scale into minor scale. We have to change just three notes: the third note, the sixth note, and the seventh notes of any major scale will convert the scale into a minor scale. And we will make the three notes flat. Now, what is the concept of making a note flat or a note sharp? If I drop a note by semitone, for example, if a note is D and I convert it into C sharp, means it is dropping by semitone, it is called flat. So if you are dropping a note by semitone, this is called flatting the note. And if you proceed a note by semitone, this is called sharping a note. So in the case of minor scale, we are dropping the third, sixth, and seventh notes of major diatonic scale by semitone. If I give you an example, this will be more clear. So for example, let's pick up the A major diatonic scale. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. So in this major diatonic scale, what is the third note? C sharp. The sixth note is F sharp and the seventh note is G sharp. So I will flat these three notes one by one. So first I will flat the C sharp, and as I said that I will drop the note by semitone. So if I drop the note by semitone, if I drop C sharp by semitone, it will be C, and the other notes means F sharp and G sharp will be F and G. So the new scale will be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Right? So by dropping the third, sixth, and seventh notes of the A major diatonic scale, I have found the A minor scale. And the notes of the minor scales are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Let's write the C major diatonic scale for now, the very familiar scale of you. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So the third note is E, sixth is A, and the seventh is B. So if I drop these three notes, E will be converted into D sharp, A will be converted into G sharp, and B will be converted into A sharp by dropping them semitone. Okay? Or you can say by flatting them. So I have flatted the third, sixth, and seventh notes of the C major diatonic scale, and I have found the C minor scale. So the new scale means the minor scale's notes are C, D, D sharp, F, G, G sharp, A sharp, C. So if I play the minor scale, it will not sound same as the major scale. The appeal of the minor scale is entirely different from the major scale. The major scale appeals as more narrative or positive, mostly. There are exceptions. But the minor scale sounds very sad, emotional, mysterious. If you are composing a very happy and very narrative kind of music, you can compose it on major scale. And if you are composing on a very emotional, and if you are composing a very emotional or very sad or very suspicious or very mysterious music, mostly we choose any minor scale for that. All right. So we have written two examples on the screen, and I hope you can convert all the 12 major scales into minor scales. Now we are going to play the minor scales all the 12 minor scales by one octave for today. We shall play them with 2 or 3 octaves on the next videos. For the first day, it will be sufficient to learn by the 1 octave. Okay. So let's start from the E minor scale. If you write down the notes of E minor scale by the formula I have said, the notes will be E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. So if I play exactly the notes, it will sound like this: E, F sharp, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. I'm starting from the sixth open, that is E, then F sharp on the second fret, G on the third fret, then open A, then B on the second fret of the A string, C on the third fret of the A string, D on the open fourth, and E on the second fret of the fourth string. Alright? Okay, let's move to the F minor scale. Starting from the F, then G, then G sharp, then A sharp, then C, C sharp, D sharp, F. First fret of the sixth string, F, then G on the third fret, then G sharp on the fourth fret, A sharp on the first fret of the fifth string, then C on the third fret, then C sharp on the fourth fret, D sharp on the first fret of the fourth string, and F on the third fret of the fourth string. So this is the F minor scale. Okay, so let's move forward to the F sharp minor scale. So the notes will be F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. Starting from the second fret of the sixth string, F sharp, then G sharp on the fourth fret of the same string, then A, the fifth string open, B, the second fret of the fifth string, C sharp, the fourth fret of the fifth string, D, the fourth string open, E, the second fret of the fourth string, and F sharp on the fourth fret of the fourth string. So the scale is coming to the G minor scale, and the notes are G, A sharp, C, D, D sharp, F, G. G on the third fret of the sixth string, A on the fifth string open, A sharp on the first fret of the fifth string, C on the third fret of the fifth string, D, the fourth string open, D sharp, the first fret of the fourth string, F on the third fret of the fourth string, and G, the third string open. So this was the G minor scale. Now we will go to the G sharp minor scale. G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp. G sharp on the fourth fret of the sixth string, A sharp on the first fret of the fifth string, B on the second fret of the fifth string, C sharp on the fourth fret of the fifth string, D sharp on the first fret of the fourth string, E on the second fret of the fourth string, F sharp on the fourth fret of the fourth string, and G sharp on the first fret of the third string. Sounding very different from the major scale. Now we shall come to the A minor scale that we have already extracted from the A major scale when we were giving the examples of minor scales. So I am not repeating the notes. or I'm not repeating how the notes have come from the major scale. The notes are, as you know already, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay? A on the fifth string open, B on the second fret of the fifth string, C on the third fret of the fifth string, D on the fourth string open, E on the second fret of the fourth string, F on the third fret of the fourth string, G on the third string open, and A on the second fret of the third string. So let's play the scale. Okay, let's move forward to the A sharp minor. A sharp, C, C sharp, D sharp, F, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp. A sharp on the first fret of the fifth string, C on the third fret of the fifth string, C sharp on the fourth fret of the fifth string, D sharp on the first fret of the fourth string, F on the third fret of the fourth string, F sharp on the fourth fret of the fourth string, G sharp on the first fret of the third string, and A sharp on the third fret of the third string. Okay, so let's play the A sharp minor again. Moving forward to B minor, that is B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B. B on the second fret of the fifth string, C sharp on the fourth fret of the fifth string, D is fourth string open, E on the second fret of the fourth string, F sharp on the fourth fret of the fourth string, F sharp on the fourth fret of the fourth string, G on the third string open, A on the second fret of the third string, and B on the fourth fret of the third string. So let's play the B minor scale. Okay. Moving forward to the C minor scale, and we have already extracted the notes of C minor in the examples at the very beginning of the video. So if I play that scale, it will sound like this. C on the third fret of the fifth string, D is on the fourth string open, D sharp on the first fret of the fourth string, F on the third fret of the fourth string, G on the third string open, G sharp on the first fret of the third string, A sharp on the third fret of the third string, and C on the first fret of the second string. So the scale will sound like this. Moving forward to the C sharp minor, and the notes are C, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp. Alright? So C sharp on the fourth fret of the fifth string, D sharp on the first fret of the fourth string, E on the second fret of the fourth string, F sharp on the fourth fret of the fourth string, G sharp on the first fret of the third string, A on the second fret of the third string, B on the fourth fret of the third string, and C sharp on the second fret of the second string. So let's play the scale. Let's go to the D minor scale, that is D, E, F, G, A sharp, C, D. D on the open fourth string, E on the second fret of the fourth string, F on the third fret of the fourth string, G on the third string open, G on the third string open, A on the second fret of the third string, A sharp on the third fret of the third string, C on the first fret of the second string and D on the third fret of the second string. So the scale will sound like this. The last but not the least is D sharp minor, and the scale is E sharp on the first fret of the fourth string, F on the third fret of the fourth string, F sharp on the fourth fret of the fourth string, G sharp on the first fret of the third string, A sharp on the third fret of the third string, B on the fourth fret of the third string, C sharp on the second fret of the second string, and D sharp on the fourth fret of the second string. So the scale will be like this.